You are not drowning, you're gripping the water. Overthinking tightens its fingers around your throat, not because reality is cruel, but because the mind won't release its own grip. What if the storm you fear isn't out there at all, but inside the breath after the thought? Tonight, we won't outrun the mind. We will teach it to kneel. 5 Stoic hacks, tested by centuries, forged for the battlefield of the mind. You won't escape the storm. You will become the one who navigates it. Between trigger and reaction, there is a breath. That is where power lives. By the end of this video, you will know how to stand in that space and make it home. If you value calm over chaos, subscribe. Each week we turn Stoic philosophy into tools you can use in minutes. Ready? Let's begin. It starts small. It always does. A single worry, a message left on read, a meeting tomorrow. Your mind zooms in like a lens stuck at maximum focus. A tiny doubt fills the frame until it looks like the whole world. You tell yourself you're being thorough, responsible. You're just thinking it through. But thinking through quietly becomes thinking in circles, and circles become spirals. The same scene replays with microscopic edits, a director who cannot shout cut. Your body tightens, shoulders rise, breath turns shallow. You feel it as pressure, as heat, as a weight behind the eyes. The room is still, but inside your chest there is weather. Overthinking feels like logic, but acts like fear. It masquerades as preparation. It promises control, then steals sleep. The Stoics had a word for this captivity: bondage to impressions. Something happens, or might happen, and the mind instantly paints it with meaning. That meaning becomes a verdict. The verdict becomes a sentence. A colleague's brief silence becomes proof of failure. A friend's delayed reply becomes a broken bond. A small mistake, rehearsed 100 times, swells into identity. I am the mistake. The world hasn't changed, only the story has. But stories, repeated, become walls. Here is the first truth. The battlefield is not the email, the glance, the silence. The battlefield is the story you attach to the event when the event is already over or hasn't even begun. The Stoics did not teach indifference to life. They taught indifference to fantasies about life. To fear is human. To invite fear to rule the house is a habit. Picture a Tuesday night. The apartment is dim. You rehearse the presentation you'll give in the morning. 10 minutes, 15 slides. You know the material. Still, your mind invents a gallery of judges. They frown. They whisper. They shake their heads. Your pulse quickens. You adjust a slide, then another. Midnight slips past. You practice not the words, but the failure. Imagine instead, you notice the moment the loop begins. A thought lands. You feel its weight, and you name it. This is a forecast, not a fact. This is a story, not a sentence. You step back. A gap appears. The thought is still there, but you are no longer inside it. That gap is everything. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to take possession of his own mind, because outside events would always be beyond his grip. The reminder is not poetry. It is a protocol. Ownership over attention, over assent, over what gets to stay. The inner battlefield is not an enemy you defeat once. It is a terrain you learn to cross. It has familiar traps, catastrophizing, mind reading, black and white verdicts. It has familiar weather, rush, tension, a hunger for certainty. You will not remove this terrain. You will learn the paths through it until your feet know where to go, even in the dark. The Stoics offered a key so simple it is easy to ignore. Separate what happens from what you say it means. Event here, judgment there. Do not fuse them. That fusion is the spark that lights the spiral. Something happens, or might happen. Your mind produces an impression, fast, loud, convincing. Most people obey it on sight. The Stoic refuses automatic obedience. They pause. They hold the impression to the light. They ask, is this fact or interpretation? Is this within my control or beyond it? What response belongs to me right now, in this moment only? This is not passivity, it is precision. When you separate event from judgment, you stop bleeding energy into 1,000 fantasies and reclaim power where it can exist, in your next action. Think of holding a hot coal. The pain is real, but the burn continues because you keep gripping it. The Stoic key is not pretending the coal is cold. The key is unclenching the hand, letting go of the extra story, letting go of the insistence that the world must bend to your conditions before you can be calm. Practice the key in 3 lines. Fact: the message hasn't been answered. Judgment: they must be angry. I must have failed. Choice: send a clear follow-up tomorrow. For now, return to what's in front of me. The line between fact and judgment can feel hair-thin at first. With use, it becomes a bright paint stripe across the floor of your mind. You start noticing when you've crossed it. You step back, you breathe, you choose again. Knowing the key is not enough. You must train the hand that turns it. Here are the 5 Stoic hacks that make separation a reflex and calm a practiced stance. They are simple. They are physical. They are meant to be used in the middle of life, not on a mountain. 1. Journaling that disarms the spiral. Not any journaling, targeted journaling. Write to unload, not to rehearse. Use a simple template that cuts the loop into pieces. Trigger: thought, emotion, action, evidence. Next step: 2 minutes per line. That is all. Example: trigger: manager replied with, "Let's talk." Thought: I'm in trouble, I'm getting fired. Emotion: panic, tight chest. Action: can't focus, checking email every 2 minutes. Evidence: my last 2 projects were on time, no warnings. Let's talk is neutral. Next step: prepare a 1-page status, send calendar invite, return to current task for 45 minutes. This miniature audit breaks the spell. You do not deny fear, you witness it. You do not scold the thought, you lay it on paper where it loses its echo. What you name, you tame. The page holds the sound so your head doesn't have to. Daily cadence: 1 page in the evening, 1 page in the morning. Evenings are for unloading, mornings are for aiming. Ask: what can I control today? What can I accept today? What will I deliberately ignore today? Write short answers. Close the notebook. Walk into the day carrying less. Common traps: turning journaling into another arena for perfection. You don't need a leather book or gold-edged pages. Use a cheap notebook. Use your phone if you must. The power is in the act, not the art. 2. The view from above. Overthinking shrinks the world to a single problem until it fills your entire field of view. You need a lens that widens on command. Stand at a window or sit where you can see the sky. Close your eyes and imagine rising gently above your life, your room, your street, your city, the continent beneath you, then the curve of the earth. Watch your worry from 10,000 meters up. It becomes a dot, a moment among billions of moments taking place right now. Somewhere a child is laughing. Somewhere rain is falling on a quiet lake. Somewhere a baker is taking wheat from an oven, and a nurse is adjusting a blanket, and a friend you have not met yet is reading a page that will one day change your life. Your problem still matters. It simply isn't everything. Stay there for 60 seconds. Then descend with a question. Given the scale of things, what is the next small, courageous action? Send it. Do it. Release the rest. Use this daily, especially before high-stakes conversations. Perspective steals drama from the mind's stage. It reminds you that you are a person among people, a moment among moments. Humility isn't self-negation, it's right-sizing. When the self is right-sized, anxiety loses its throne. 3. Negative visualization, premeditation of adversity. Anxiety is allergic to uncertainty. The Stoic answer is not to promise certainty. It is to rehearse difficulty until it no longer startles you. Spend 3 minutes picturing the undesirable but realistic outcome. Do it calmly, not catastrophically. Then, design your response. Example: the presentation might glitch. Picture it. The screen freezes. Your heart jumps. You pause, smile, name the reality. Switch to the printed handouts. Continue. You even gain the room's trust because you didn't crumble. Another example: the flight is delayed. You miss the connection. You locate the service desk. Call ahead to shift the meeting to virtual. Use the waiting time to review notes. You are inconvenienced, not destroyed. Boundary this practice. Choose one scenario, 3 minutes, one response. Finish with a grounding breath. The goal is not to live in worst-case worlds. It is to remove the surprise from them so your mind stops begging for prediction as a condition for peace. 4. Breath as anchor. You do not need mystical training to regain control. You need an off switch for sympathetic overdrive. Use a simple pattern you can do anywhere. Slow inhale through the nose. Relaxed exhale that is slightly longer than the inhale. For many, a count of 4 in, 6 out works. If you prefer structure, use a cycle of 4 in. Hold 4, exhale 6, hold 2. 2 minutes is often enough to change the chemistry of the moment. Pair the breath with a phrase that aims attention. Only what's in my control. Or, event here, judgment there. On the exhale, release the story. On the inhale, collect the present. You are not banishing thoughts. You are escorting them politely to the door and returning to the task at hand. Practice in neutral moments. The breath you rehearse when calm is the breath you will remember when the alarm rings. Make it automatic. 1 minute before opening the inbox. 1 minute before answering a difficult call. 1 minute before bed. 5. Voluntary discomfort. Anxiety whispers that you are fragile, that you cannot handle life unless life is padded. Prove it wrong. Choose small daily hardships. A cold finish to your shower. A walk without your phone. Taking the stairs when you feel like the elevator. Delaying the first coffee by 30 minutes. These are not punishments. They are rehearsals for resilience. Why this works? Your nervous system learns that discomfort is survivable. That urge does not equal order. That you can feel a wave rise and still choose your action. Over time, your identity shifts from "I hope nothing bad happens" to "I can handle what happens." Build a 2-week ladder. Day 1-3, end showers with 20 seconds cold. 1 deep breath before replying to messages. Day 4-7, 40 seconds cold, 2 short walks without headphones, journal nightly. Day 8-10, 60 seconds cold, skip 1 snack. Practice 1 3-minute negative visualization. Day 11-14, 90 seconds cold, 1 hour phone-free block. 1 conversation you've delayed, initiated calmly. Tiny stresses, big signal to the mind. You are capable, and capability quiets fear. At first, change looks like nothing. The thoughts still come. The mind still tries its old tricks. But your relationship to them has shifted. You notice earlier. You name faster. You breathe sooner. The loop shortens. Sleep returns like an old friend who finally trusts your house again. You will catch yourself mid-spiral and smile. There's the script. There's the catastrophic narrator. You thank it for trying to keep you safe and return to the present like you would return a cup to its shelf. No drama, just placement. Scenes begin to play differently. The manager says, "Let's talk," and you answer, "Great, Tomorrow at 10 works for me. Then you prepare a one-pager and move on with your day. A partner grows quiet and you ask, "Is everything okay?" rather than authoring a novel of betrayal in your head. A stranger frowns in the street and you do not assume the universe is sending a message about your worth. Your body learns the posture of calm. Shoulders soften, jaw unclenches, breathing deepens. Focus returns in pulses, then as a sustained beam. You taste the clarity that comes from spending your energy only where it can change something. This clarity does not make life perfect. It makes you ready. A delay is a delay, not doom. A mistake is a mistake, not a prophecy. A conflict is an invitation to practice courage, not an alarm to flee. Remember the old Tuesday night? The apartment, the slides, the gallery of judges. Now it looks different. You still prepare carefully. You still care. But you close the laptop at 10. You breathe. You place your clothes for the morning. You write 3 lines in your journal. What's in my control? What isn't? What I'll do next? You sleep. In the morning you walk into the room not to survive it, but to serve it. That quiet shift is everything. And as days add up, resilience becomes character. The person who once drowned in thoughts now stands in them as in rain, aware, wet, but unafraid. Calm is not the absence of weather. Calm is skilled navigation. You are not at the mercy of the mind's weather. You are the one at the helm. Overthinking is not a flaw. It is an overuse of a good tool. The mind was built to imagine, to forecast, to protect. But unchecked, it protects by imprisoning. The Stoic answer is not to amputate thought. It is to teach thought its place. Here is your protocol, distilled. Recognize the battlefield. When the loop begins, label it. This is a story, not a sentence. Insert the Stoic key. Separate event from judgment. Ask what belongs to you right now. Deploy a tool. Journal to disarm. Zoom out for perspective. Rehearse adversity briefly and with intention. Anchor in breath. Train uncomfortable on purpose. Return to action. Small, clear, within your control. Repeat. Daily, especially when you don't feel like it. 3 takeaways to carry. The storm is rarely outside. It is the meaning you attach within. Meanings can be rewritten. Your power lives in the pause. Guard it. Use it. Stretch it until it becomes a room you can stand in. Resilience is trained, not inherited. Make the training small and daily. You will surprise yourself. If this helped you, subscribe and share it with someone caught in the storm today. Tell me in the comments, which tool will you practice first? The page awaits. The breath awaits. The next small action awaits. And the fortress of your mind, quiet, steady, unshakable, is already being built, one practiced moment at a time.